Hey guys, welcome back.
How did you enjoy the Dance of Destruction there during the break?
It was okay, I guess, but not really that great.
Spoiler time. This probably could have gone in the non-spoiler part, but I just want to say, again, just tacking onto my love of the lore and culture he built, the fact that everything is dancing and music and singing, I fucking love it.
It is great.
The dance of creation.
When you go to talk to anything, a bug, a dragon, an animal, you aren't talking to them, you're singing to them. And
yeah, it makes me wonder, and I'll try to get an answer out of him if we do the interview, but I'll get you guys' opinions. The fact that, do you think when you talk to things, are you verbally communicating, or do you think these dragons have some sort of like psychic presence?
I believe it's psychic.
See, that's what I was thinking. Psychic, like pictures, because that's the thing. Like when you're first an egg, it says you're just shown pictures.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think you can verbally communicate, but I think a lot of the times you're psychically doing it.
They do mention we're in the spoiler part. At the end of the game, the All-Mother, who is basically the compassion dragon path, she does mention that her ultimate goal is to shed her body and become human. And she says that she wants to eventually create a hybrid race that can speak as the Drak do and see as the Drak do. So I believe that there's something magical with your eyes that allow you to see the sigils and the colors.
Yeah.
But
completely.
Maybe there is something to their voice that is magical in nature that allows anything to understand you.
I think they have to have some sort of verbal component, considering the true songs that you can unlock. It has to be verbal at some point, but I think a lot of it could also be psychic. I feel like anything word-related is voice, and then the mental link just also shows pictures and colors and emotions, maybe? A lot of my favorite dialogue involves them mentioning singing or whatever, and the concept of like, I really should have taken screenshots of like my favorite lines from the game when I was going through it. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down on my notes. You give me a second.
I took a couple screenshots of things that amused me, and the one I think that amused me the most was toward the end of the game.
Okay, so I didn't write it down, but I do remember it. It's when you're in the egg and they're telling you the laws of creation and destruction. And she's like, you are a destroyer. To live is good, and in order to live, you must rip away the life of others. If you do not, then you will waste away, and you yourself be destroyed, and all your music will become silence. That last line, your music becoming silence, that actually got me emotional again when I read it the first time. I don't know why. Dude, the egg part kicked my ass so hard. Okay, there's like 5 different parts where I had to stop and I was like, okay. Like the part when the voice is first reaching out to you and you reach back and it just says that the feeling of purest joy washes over you and it has a little flash of orange. Again, I'm tearing up just talking and remembering it. It was beautiful.
All right.
And it makes me really upset that the Drak don't even have like true concepts of families. Like, yes, you have your creators that you are forever like gratitude towards, and you kind of recognize your siblings out in the wild, but the fact that there's no family unit, I'm very upset about that.
Yeah.
My game will have family units. You'll live with your parents for at least a bit before you leave the nest.
One of my favorite little bits of dialogue in the game, which is definitely not intentional, but for anyone who's ever played Final Fantasy XIV and knows the name Dilitan, the All-Mother, who is basically the crystal dragon, there is a line in there, a dialogue that says, what was that? You feel as though you've been adopted by a being made of light and truth. Did it speak truly? Would taking on the suffering of others and aiding their journeys be somehow advantageous? This could be the beginning of something beautiful and excruciating. And I was like, oh, so it's Dilitan.
Oh, when she invites you to do her challenge.
Oh, I failed that.
We'll get to a challenge in a second. I want to go kind of in order of the game just so we stay on track and don't lose things while jumping around.
The beginning of
the
second chapter, I guess.
Having some sort of structure will help us not forget anything, basically. But to finish my earlier tangent with the whole parent thing, like a lot of this game did make me emotional. I know for a fact, if there was a part later in the game where after you do the dance of creation, you get an egg and you get to be there when it hatches and you get to raise the kid for a bit, 100% I would have just been destroyed. there would have been no recovery from that. I guarantee you, if that scene was in the game and the game tries to explain to you from the Drax point of view just the pride and love you have watching your hatchling emerge from the shell, I would not have survived that. There was no way.
Well, the good news is that the developer has stated that he wishes to make more games. It's just shinies are a problem.
We need to give him more shinies.
We need to give him more shinies.
Yep, buy more of the game.
Hey, Ludwig, how many shinies do I need to give you to be put in one of the games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like a cameo character. I mean, you had my little intro at the beginning of this episode. You can put in a little Drac named Abyss, and that's just how he introduces himself.
So Chapter 2 starts with... So basically, now that we're in the spoiler section...
Is there anything spoilery about Chapter 1 we want to talk about?
Well, yes. So Chapter 1, you have a compass. Every time you sleep, the compass will show up and fill. You have
empty.
one objective.
Empty, yeah.
Or
I would say it's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's emptying.
You have one objective in Chapter 1, and that is to leave before that compass is completely full. Because...
Or the humans find you, because they can find you before that depletes.
Alerting the humans to your presence makes it deplete faster.
But there are a couple events where they're getting closer. It will actually start warning you, like, hey, you caught the scent of humans, but they haven't found your cave. You spotted a campfire very close to your cave, but they haven't found it yet. But it's
like footprints.
I have not seen what actually happens, but it's implied that
they steal your treasure.
Yeah, they steal all your treasure. They steal all your shinies and all your artifacts, and you leave into part 2 with nothing.
Oh, okay. I thought they would have just killed you.
No.
But yeah. So part 2, you find the Great Green on the map, and you leave the first map behind, and you cannot come back.
Because the humans... And it's also Darktooth's territory.
Yeah, it's also Darktooth's territory, which
we didn't even bring him up, huh? Did we?
No,
we did not, because we tried to avoid the characters because
Spoilers.
of spoilery. Again, because even though it was part of the demo, the fact that the game is story driven and a lot of it is finding stuff on your own, I wanted to avoid a lot of the stuff if we could.
Yeah. So Darktooth is your father or mother. It's not
Papa.
God, super spoilers.
Well, we're in the
We're in the spoiler half.
Spoiler half.
Yeah, that's true.
There's not a third half where we're like, now the super spoilers. Okay.
So Darktooth is your parent. He's one of your parents. He does.
What do you guys feel? If I can just interject, since we keep trying to avoid mother and father, what do you guys think about how gender neutral the game was, with everything being it rather than he or she?
I liked it.
I liked it too, because it allows a little bit more immersion. Because you can pretend that you're the girl or you're the guy.
Or I kind of predict them like they're almost hermaphrodite, because you could read with pretty much all the ones you could choose, and it isn't like, oh, sorry, we're the same sex.
Yeah, it actually says in the game, like, are you going to be the birther or the giver or the creator? And it's like, you don't know.
I don't think that was literally picking your gender. That was just choosing which aspect you enjoyed more, because it gave you some stats.
Oh.
Yeah.
But point being is it didn't seem heavy-handed. It's very natural, and it allows you to put yourself in the dragons.
Sadly, I do not think the dragons here are hermaphrodite, because it specifies again, when it's teach you by the law of creation, you are a birther or a giver, and you must find someone of the opposite nature.
That's true. Because I think it says the only 2 dragons that were confirmed is Darktooth is confirmed male and your mother's confirmed female. So I guess you're right. There is no hermaphrodite in dragon species.
Which I would have loved that, because that means when I was with Vantage, we could have taken turns.
Well, if you do pick a certain thing, it's like you get the line of there's not anything that you did not do to Vantage. I kind of like that scene.
So
definitely,
Venter, I want to ask, who is your best boy / girl dragon?
That's not Darktooth?
That's not Darktooth. Well, for mating purpose.
Because you can't mate with your father.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that'd be incest. Then what was it?
So is he only
Tempest?
Is he only allowed to pick from the 5?
No,
that you
can
mate
pick
with?
from any of the dragons except for the elders
you mate.
and Darktooth.
No,
so that's just the ones
I
you
was
can
going to
mate
pick
with.
Fathom.
Then does that also count as Warden then?
You can pick Warden.
You can pick Warden.
I still wouldn't pick Warden, but
all right, fine. The only one off limits is Darktooth.
Yep. Then I said Tempest.
All right, Ray.
It's so hard. Like
I
my opinion.
I thought you liked
So here's the thing: my opinion
Vantage.
changed multiple times because at first I was a little flustered by Vantage because when I found the hole and he's sitting there above me, something about being loomed over like that, it does something to me. I don't understand. I can't explain it. I can explain it, but I'm not going to. Well, I'm supposed to be the villain on this show, so I can't admit this. But so initially it was fun, right? Then the very first person I ever fell in love with, besides Darktooth, because he's your father, was going to be Whisper. I loved Whisper. I'm very sad Whisper is assumed dead, or implied dead, because if I could
it's an albino. It makes sense.
So, but it's like, dude, if dragons in this world had communities, like they lived together as families or as friends or whatever, and I understand why. We'll go into more detail why I understand why he made it. They don't work that way, but if they did, I don't care that he just tried to kill me. Whisper's staying with me forever, okay? Because Whisper is my baby. But then after Whisper, when I started meeting other dragons, so he was the first one I fell in love with. Fathom is a little special just because of how big he is, and I like big, right? But that's kind of like...
But he's an elder.
Yeah, he's kind of a cheap easy, because just big. Vantage I fell in love with after taking his territory, because when you beat him, the little scene where he's cowering back, saying that, "Stop, I yield."
Yeah, it kind of broke
and
my
he
heart.
gets all sad.
And then,
then
he says, like, if you do disrespect this land, I will be its vengeance.
No, that was Tempest.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. Okay, never mind.
No, Vantage. So he's sitting there cowering, I yield. After this defeat, I'm going to be challenged from other people trying to take what's left of my territory. I have to prepare. And I'm like, oh, you baby, no.
I'll let you have a part of your land.
It's like, no, just stay here with me, right? We can be friends. And the fucker puts up a lava moat.
See, like, I liked him for his cleverness, like, willing to try different things.
Yeah.
Like Rift, I did too, because I wanted to make him feel better. But Rift, my first playthrough, I could not beat Tempest or Vantage. I didn't have enough stats, or I didn't understand combat well enough to where I couldn't. And then I got to my last sigil of life, and I didn't want to risk dying because I was on course for getting the chariot. The single life playthrough, tarot card. So I stopped challenging them. So my first mating season, I didn't have access to Vantage, but I had access to Rift. And Rift kind of awoke something in me, because again, there's this big, dominant dragon that just, like, I don't know, something about her posture and the way she looked down at you. And I don't know why in my head it's a she, but it is.
I'll say, like, okay, so you count her as a she.
Yeah, I don't know
but
why.
yeah,
Well,
even I got that
he
feeling
also
from
counts
her.
himself as male, so...
I don't know.
All right, my turn?
Yes.
Bloom, 100%.
Oh, God.
So
I was about to ask, like, is that one of your things where, like, you died a lot? Did you die a lot to Bloom?
No.
Because I sure
No,
did.
So the very first dragon that I went, ooh, was actually for a jealousy reason. When I first encountered Warden, and I saw his art, and I was like, and my very first thing out of my mouth, because Ray was here, I went, he's prettier than me. And I was like, how dare you? But after him, a couple days had passed, and I got the event with Bloom. Or no. It was because my territory... No, never mind. Scratch all that. So yeah, it was the random event. I fucked up my event with Warden. I asked him to respect my lands, and I messed up a dialogue choice, and he's like, no. And a couple days later, I noticed that one of my animals had turned yellow, and I went, what the hell?
Yep.
And Ray goes,
He's hunting in your lands.
He's hunting in your lands. And I went, what about that one? He goes, Vantage is hunting in your lands, and you haven't talked to him yet. And I was like, son of a bitch. But I got Bloom, his event. And the thing is that Bloom is me in this game. He's
befriend all the animals.
Completely full of himself, and he immediately...
Our great and glorious leader.
Yeah. And
has brought
he
us to the great
immediately
green.
gathers every animal he can and creates this little, like, army
Menagerie.
of adorable creatures. And I didn't have to fight him because I had finished the wolves. And
okay, God, the wolves were hard to do. I'm amazed you got them first try.
Well, I got him first try because Ray was telling me what.
The cheat. Yeah, the cheat.
No, he wasn't cheating at this point, but I was holding his hand a little bit to prevent further frustration, and because he was doing this last minute, we were short on time, I wanted him to get as many tarot cards as possible.
And
Okay.
again, I am going to play it again because
You should wipe yourself out or have no tarot cards and no masteries and try to go in blind like
Oh,
that.
God.
All right, maybe.
That's going to be
But
frustrating.
no, not really, because now I understand more about the game. That was the thing. I understand that I need to pay attention to my hunger bar, where I wasn't paying attention before. Because
And don't pick on the humans
and
while you're
don't pick on the
hatchling.
humans while I'm hatchling,
And avoid mushrooms.
and avoid mushrooms,
And how to grind the masteries.
and grind the masteries. Anyway, shut up. So when I first encountered Bloom and he had his animals, like, you know, he's like, I've got all these animals, and then I had an option to summon my clan, and I was like, oh, I'll click that. I summon my clan, and then Bloom's reaction of like he immediately kind of like fluffs up like, oh shit. And then I got the option of my clan is mightier. Do you really want to do this? And he's like, well, no. And then he goes, oh, you know what? Actually, this was just a test. And he left, and the animals are like, our great leader has decided this is not the place he wanted. We're going to go that way. And he leaves. And so when I came back, now the first time you see Bloom, he's covered in woodland critters, like birds and squirrels and other things. When you get the choice to go, mate with a dragon, you come back, he's covered in tropical
really
birds.
Fast, I want to interject because you get his messenger first before he comes back. I want to know, did you eat the toucan?
No.
Because remember he's friends to all
animals. I did not eat the toucan. I didn't even ask for a gift. I just said, yes, tell him I'm interested.
I demanded a gift because I was the victor of our last battle, and it's like, I'm the gift. I'm like, all right, chomp.
Oh, that's horrible. That explains his dialogue then, where he's like, I go with glad tidings, goodbye. But at any rate, when Bloom shows up the second time, and I even took a screenshot because I love the art so much, he's covered in reptiles and tropical birds, implying that he found a place in the jungle. And I'm like, okay, that seals it. That's me in this game.
The fact that there's a snake around his neck is like, this is definitely Bantam's husband.
Snake around the neck, chameleon on his arm, tropical birds on his head.
All he wants is the snake. All I want is
the snake, yeah. But
so I'm the only one that had like that feeling that Bloom gave off like a feminine vibe.
He gave off
he Blue. Okay, so first off, all right. So first off, gender neutral. You can be whatever you want, right?
I know, but
in my head, most of them were male, just because I am attracted to males, and so they were obviously all that. Every dragon was male. But I will admit, Bloom, just like Rift, for some reason gave me a female vibe.
Yeah. There's only two things about this game I did not like, and I'm going to talk about one of them here because it kind of plays into it.
Okay.
One of the things in this game I did not like was some of the text font choices. Some of the fonts were incredibly hard to read, and so Ray went, just turn off colored text. I'm like, that's not going to change the font.
Well, I never turned it off because I liked it. I'll admit some fonts were hard to read, but I assumed it would turn off the font as well.
Some of the fonts really strained my eyes to read.
Like one of the cursive ones really got to me.
Some of the font choices were the fact that you
Whispers font was beautiful.
Yes. And the Chaos Beast or the other that thing, its dialogue, its font choice was beautiful as well, or scary. But with Bloom, it was very old Gothic, like medieval. And to me, it made him sound like a haughty Englishman, which I loved. Like it,
I would not have thought that at all for their voice.
It sounded like it to me in my head
not a Cockney
while
accent.
reading it. It sounded not Cockney.
Oh, you heard his hatred for Cockney accents, huh?
Yep.
No, it didn't sound Cockney to me. It sounded.
I know, but that's like if it was a Cockney accent, would you still like?
No.
If he had a Cockney
if it was
accent?
voiced and he had a Cockney accent, no. But to me, it was like Monty Python and the Holy Grail levels of the Lord, a blessing from the Lord. Like the way his animals talked and addressed him and the way he talked, because they used that font choice, it helped form an actual audible voice in my head. And I understand.
My head canon is now, because his mouthpiece was a rooster, that it's Southern.
Yeah. Yeah, but then it's a toucan, so. I will say that I understand the need to use different fonts because, yes, it did have a desired effect. It did give voice, like actual voice, to some of these people. However, some of the fonts were ungodly ugly to look at. almost any of the ones that were remotely cursive. There was one font, I don't remember who used it, but the lowercase p's, lowercase d's, the q's had ridiculously long tails, and for some reason it was messing with my eyes. I could not follow a sentence. Like, I actually had to drag my mouse cursor over words as I was reading them because the lines were just drawing my eyes away from it, and I was constantly rereading the same line over and over.
So basically, they just need to have an option to turn off the fonts like they did the colors.
Because, yeah, as I said, some of the fonts were really good, some of them were not. It definitely did, for someone who reads a lot, it did kind of color their voice in my head, which I loved.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the intention.
Yeah, and so that was, but in this particular instance, that was a positive, because for me, it gave him a, Knight's Tale / Monty Python and the Holy Grail level of ridiculous English, like the guy who's got polished silver armor and a plume 10 feet tall and has never been in combat, but pretends like he's a great hero. That was the voice I heard for Bloom. And yeah, that's me. So, loved Bloom. I that was who. As soon as I saw Bloom, I was like, yeah, no, there's no other option.
How do you feel knowing that Bloom probably likes humans?
Yeah,
to an extent.
You mentioned that, and I was like,
because Bloom went over to the South Americas, and I don't remember which option gives you this lore, but the humans, they refer to him as the feathered serpent, so he's Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remembered seeing that.
I refused to. I didn't see that option, so I didn't. No, so you're making it up.
Like, there's also Tiamat in this world too, which is cool.
Never called by that name, considering
by
Tiamat
name,
is a construction. Considering Tiamat is a construction of Wizards of the Coast with D&D, I don't think it's fair to call the Dark Queen or whatever Ludwig called her.
That's not
the Ruiner. The Ruiner.
That's not owned by whatever.
No, but the version of Tiamat that people have in their head when they think of a dark, evil queen dragon, that was made by Wizards. The original Tiamat was nothing like that. That's just what Wizards turned it into and what everyone assumes when they hear it now.
Oh, okay.
Now, Tiamat in original lore was supposed to be a good guy, but D&D made her evil, and that's what everyone assumes now.
I thought it's like, okay, you got a good dragon and a bad dragon.
No, so Ventura, I want to ask you, because apparently you said you died to Bloom. If you die to one of the challengers, does it make you restart the day and do it all over again? Or do they withdraw in some other way and you just don't get the feather?
Start all over again. And then here's another thing I was going to bring up before, is if you do the School of Knowledge at the wrong time to where like you come out of it right when Bloom would be around, if you fail, you have to do the School of Knowledge all over again.
That sucks.
Oh, that sucks.
So does that mean you will 100% always get the 3 feathers no matter what? Because there's no way to fail the challenge?
Yeah. The only one that you might miss is Wardens.
No, you don't miss that. And
no, you can. Like you just don't go in the hut.
Yeah, if you never go in the hut, you won't get his feather.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it feels weird to have it be an artifact you can get if there's no possible way to miss it.
Is there any use for the tails aside from collecting them?
You mean the feathers?
Tails? You mean the foxtails?
Sorry, I meant because they're feathered dragons, and in my head, because I'm a bird, tail feathers.
No. So
Nope.
I thought it added to your reputation to make it easier to attract a mate in part 3. But if you're guaranteed to get them, I don't think there's any point to them at all. They don't affect the game at all.
Yeah. It's just a little extra treasure.
It's the one thing I have to remember Whisper by.
Oh yeah, you get
The
his
ghost
feather.
feather.
That's the one you'd have at the top of your hoard, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. I miss
No,
Whisper.
he'd probably find a way to get it into his own feathers.
Just wear it.
Just wear it.
No, okay. So I would actually probably try to stick the feathers of the people I vanquish into my plumage. I 100% would. We kind of jumped ahead a bit. I said, let's go in order. Jump ahead to the mating part. It's like, okay, I guess we're picking husbandos and waifus
I think we started
first.
at Bloom, which was kind of close, but that was like 2/3 of the way through the second area.
Kind of. I kind of just want to share some thoughts on the... So this game triggered a lot of bad... It triggered one of my phobias, and I don't know what the phobia is called. Give me like 30 seconds to see if I can look it up.
Tryptophobia?
No.
The fear of being watched.
Oh, the one with the holes?
No, that's tryptophobia.
No.
What's the fear of?
It's I don't know if it... I think everything's a real phobia, so... But I don't know what the word is, but it's the fear of... of losing something, of not being able to go back, of the fear of quotation mark never again. All right. So like a good example that I can give, and while this particular example doesn't affect me that bad, I know people who have broken down from this. I heard a story from a YouTuber at some point where when they were 8 and they were having their 9th birthday, their mom said like to be silly, to be like, oh look, you're 9, you'll never be 8 again, right? Because you're growing up, hooray! But the concept of never being 8 again caused them to break down in tears. So it's kind of that feeling. So as far as how the game triggered that for me, the concept of growing up from hatchling to juvenile and having to leave the Great Green, and the game telling you will never come back, that bothered me.
You mean not the Great Green, but Darktooth's area.
Darktooth's area, yeah. Your initial cave as a hatchling, being told you can never come back here, that it bothered me. And it happened a couple other times, but I can't remember exactly what. But just the concept of never again. So yeah, basically I just wanted to share my experience with the growing up in the game and the leaving behind your first home and all that. It's like, that's why it's like, I understand the need for the time limit to give you some driving force in the game, but that's why the idea of the quote perfect game in my head was more of a sandbox without these driving forces, so I could just hang around and be a kid in game forever if I wanted to.
Or it'd be nice if like you could eventually talk to Darktooth, like, hey, can I come back in your area for a little bit?
I want to visit my old cave just for nostalgia's sake, but I don't know if these dragons have nostalgia.
Most likely an animal moved back into it.
Maybe.
Well, maybe not. They might smell dragon in it.
Yeah, probably. At least for a good while.
Again, like that's another thing. Like I don't know how long the hibernations were supposed to be.
Okay, so that's the bone I have to pick with the game too, right? So first we can agree you were only, let's say, conscious for somewhere around a year or so, right? Because
probably even less than that.
Probably even less.
It was when the plants were getting frost, so it had to be under a year.
Because you never saw winter, but in either part 1 or part 2, you never saw winter. Like part 1 was like 2 months long at the most, right? The game is not doing an exact 1-to-1 as far as every day equals every day, because every now and then you'll reach an event where it says over the next couple days X, or other times you would come here to do this. So you're picking out the important events of your time period while being there, right?
Yep.
So like you're only playing out 14 days or whatever of the 2 months that you have in part 1. But part 1 was guaranteed less than 2 months, because that's when Darktooth said the humans would find you. And then part 2, 100% you did not complete a full year because you never saw winter. The bats themselves say they have to leave for winter, so they were only there for like the summer, right? So 100% combined total, you were conscious for less than a year. Then by the time you wake up as an adult, it's from the time you hatch to the time you finish your adult wake up, it's been at least 60 years. Because the wolves say that they're going to have many generations born while you're sleeping, and then the kid that's playing in the river you get the crown from becomes the artist in part 3, and he's like so old he's gonna just die from old age.
Okay, so that is the artist. I was wondering.
Yes, that's why he gets so happy when you give him the crown back, because he remembers you. So you've existed for 60 years, but only been conscious for 1 year of that. It's like, okay,
wasted life.
It's like,
so I guess dragons they're supposed to live
forever.
Thousands of turnings.
Yeah, so I guess in the long run that doesn't matter, but just why? It just feels so weird to like hatch, be conscious for 2 months, go to sleep, be conscious for 2 months, go to sleep, and it's 60 years later. It's like, could I not have just fully developed while in the egg or something? I don't know how I feel about the hibernating dragon trope in general, but sometimes it's okay. Minor spoiler for Wings of Fire. The Arc 3 introduces new dragon species, and one of them has to go into a minor hibernation. I think it lasts like a week, though.
And that's just to get a new ability.
That's just because they're born without wings, and then they go into a hibernation. When they wake up, they have wings.
Yeah.
So that one I can agree with. Biological need for it.
Like a non-gross version of what happened in Age of Fire.
Yeah. Age of Fire, they have to develop the wings. They're not born.
But they don't hibernate.
They don't hibernate.
Parts of
Yeah. The concept of a dragon being like, you know what, I'm going to sleep for 100 years. I don't think that serves any purpose.
I mean, I guess it allowed the land around where you're sleeping to rejuvenate, but then shouldn't it also invite a dragon? It's like, okay, this dragon is just sleep for 100 or a couple dozens of years. I can just take over this area now.
Yeah, most of the time, anytime hibernation is used, it's used as a plot device to have the world change around the dragon.
Yep.
Which is like, feels kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but I don't know. It's just, I just don't think I agree with the hibernation trope. Mostly because I would hate to sleep for 20 years.
Well, you would.
Like, even if, okay, first off, I'm in character, I'm a dragon, right? Right? I live for 10,000 years. I wouldn't want to sleep for 20 of them because it's like, think about everything I could do for 20 years, right? But yeah, tangent over, I guess. I realized I went on for a bit there.
It's okay.
But yeah, what did you guys think about the Great Lesson?
Oh, the wisdom or the school
wisdom
of knowledge.
Trial. What the Great Lesson is what the entire thing was called. The School of Knowledge was that one room inside it.
So, my opinion is very short and sweet. The fact that you were over my shoulder the whole time, telling me that don't cheat, but then you were like, you should just go to the Steam community and look up a map for this because when I saw the map, yeah, that's a little BS.
Yeah. So, Ludwig, I'm sorry. I did not cheat, ever, like Bantam. I played through the game on my own, with one exception. That being I used the maps for the dungeons, because they felt very mazy with the lack of a mini-map or anything else to keep track of it. I could not recognize the background pictures being the same. I would have been lost forever. And in a game that wants to count down your time and your hunger and all that, I felt like that was a little cheap.
It definitely did feel like, yeah, if you're not capable of making mental maps in your head,
which I can't.
Yeah, I mean, even then, like, yeah, you could do boxes and lines on a piece of paper, but you really shouldn't have to do that.
At that point, it's the same thing as the map on Steam or whatever.
So it's like,
I think that's what I did for the School of Wisdom, but I did need to look up how to beat Bloom because I died to Bloom so many times.
The first time I fought Bloom, I outsmarted her into fighting with me one-on-one. I don't remember what the dialogue option is, but yeah, I somehow challenged her to fighting without her animals. Because I didn't have the rules my first time through.
See, and then one thing I didn't know at the time was that you could also pay attention to what the rooster says, because the rooster will say what the next element of the attack will be.
Yeah, our great leader unleashed a fiery assault. I'm like, yep. Oh, okay, I'm going to use water then. Thank you, Rooster. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but also Flare, the first one, his sprite changes position based on what type of attack he's going to use next.
Oh, I never got Flare to fight. I always did the riddles for him.
Oh, I wasn't smart enough my first playthrough. Like that was going to be like a yellow or a red, so I was like, nah, I'll just fight him, I guess. But yeah, the Great Lesson. The first half with the mules.
The ohms.
Well, yeah, the ohms, the mules, the ohms. So apparently aliens, yeah. Apparently, I accused Ludwig of being a Scientologist.
Okay, so wait, what you keep saying mules?
Can I not say the word? Am I fucking up the word?
Axolotls?
Sounds like you're saying mules.
No. Mule. I can't say the R. Murals.
Murals.
Okay, yeah, because I kept saying mules.
Okay, some words are difficult for dragon throats and snouts, okay? You don't need to shame me about it.
Okay, I like the lore that gave me, and that's where you learn about the supposed Tiamat then.
Yeah, that's where you hear about the Ruiner. Well, Darktooth mentions her, but that's where you hear about her backstory.
Yeah. And amazingly, I actually got that my first try, like trying to put it together. I was like, wait, am I just fully making up what's going on? Because it never said I chose wrong.
I got shocked a couple of times because I had a hard time recognizing what symbol was what. Once I figured out which one was tile 1, it flowed on from there. Like, because I didn't know that big diamond in the sky was supposed to be the sun, and I didn't know that giant mess of whatever down below was supposed to be the earth. But once I figured out that was tile 1, it's like, okay, now I know what order this goes in. But yeah, aliens. How do you feel about the aliens being in the game?
Okay, so when I found out about it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's what the Brightlings are. But then you go to the main menu in the gallery, and every scene with the Brightlings is called Elf. So, because
I'm pretty sure the Brightlings are not the same aliens as the other seed from the dark deep history.
Well, because I vaguely recall Elf being mentioned at some point in the very beginning of the game. Because
I do too. I don't think they said elf. I think they just said fair woodland folk, which in my head equals elf.
Which equals elf. And then when I saw the Brightlings and I saw that they basically sleep in trees, like they just phase into them, and that
that's where they log off.
And the fact that they are like pruning and tending to, random things, and that they just kind of look at you with wonder and amazement and no fear. I was like, okay, these are obviously elves. And then there was one tarot card where I was a little too ambitious with my choice, and Ray went, "Oh, you fucked it up."
Yeah, he was like, "Ooh, sex, yay."
The Brightling dragon came to my cave and was like, "You want to have sex?" And I was like, "Do I?" Yeah. And I clicked on it, and Ray went, "Ugh." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You're supposed to say no." And I'm like,
"Well, you could say yeah."
Sex.
No, but to get the tarot card, you got to say no. You have to decline until the controller talks to you and explains what's going on, and then you can say yes.
Oh, so I could still get it?
Yeah, and if you hold out, you get paid much more.
That too, yep. Bitch. And you get to choose. It's like you can get treasure or you can get animal knowledge.
50% on every animal. That's the best thing ever on your first playthrough.
So yeah, But I like the lore with them. The Delvers, it's not a ton of information on them, but
but I'm
basically dwarves is what I thought.
They were basically, but yeah, I'm specifically asking, what do you think about the aliens that came and destroyed everything the first time round, and that they left behind the humans?
I mean, they would.
Yeah, but like,
how can we fuck up this planet?
Like maybe they were trying to terraform so that they could watch and study humans or something.
Well, they made 3 different races: the Guardians, or Custodians,
the Enforcers, the Custodians, and the Delvers.
Yeah, and they were all kind of from the other, but I aliens. It's all right. All right. Well, aliens. It's aliens makes as much sense as one of the ending I got, the ending I wanted, where. I'll address that later.
I guess I'm doing a bad job explaining, but like traditionally in media, saying it was aliens or whatever is usually frowned upon because it just feels like a cop out. It feels cheap. It feels jump the sharky. Yeah. Do you have any of those kind of issues with it in this story?
Not that much.
And I think the reason why is because it kind of eased me into it when I found the shake stick. When I got the shake stick and I looked at it, I was like, that looks like an alien device. And then I got to use it and I was like, it is an alien device. And I was like, and then they're like, oh, it belongs to the Delvers. And I'm like, all right. Maybe they're very, very smart technological dwarves. So it kind of eased me into the alien shit, or alien stuff. But and then when the actual aliens came, it wasn't like aliens, it was more like, oh, aliens. And it, it makes sense when you find out that the Delvers are part alien, because the shake stick, love that. Never used it in combat, but damn, did I get a lot of treasure.
Yeah, that's what it's best used for. Especially once you're high enough level, usually your attacks will do better than the shake stick.
I sold it back to the Delvers in the 3rd act, as well as the mask.
Yep.
Yep. Definitely worth it. But yeah, initially when I got to the... I'm going to fuck up the word again. The murals? I can't say it. Whatever. When I got to that point, I was like, oh, aliens, we're going down this path. Okay. But then I slowly warmed up to it through the rest of the game because the story they crafted around it, with the humans basically being abandoned and sad and lonely and all that, I was like, okay, I get it. But then the second half of the great lesson with the schools.
Yeah, the schools can definitely be tedious.
Oh, they were super tedious.
All 4 of them were a unique brand of, fuck you. Like...
And then they each dealt with things. Like one was religion, one was just basic knowledge, one was...
I love the School of Faith because I felt like it was bashing on real life religion.
Yeah, it pretty much was, because that boils it down. It's like, don't like yellow, don't approach the surface.
Well, his 3 rules that make sense, right? share if you have excess. Don't approach the surface because it's dangerous to fish.
Yeah.
Don't, and like all that, and avoid yellow. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, that sounds about right.
There was
Well, maybe because there's yellowfish they have
there
to
was the
avoid.
Nile.
And then still like it was the other one where the main fish ate the others, but that was the math one, not the faith one.
There was the math one.
Yeah.
There was the faith one. Then there was like the greed/money octopus. And then the other one was basically just nihilist, like everything sucks. What's the point?
Avoid.
Like just dig a hole and live in it.
It was nihilism to the extreme.
I hated him the most because I honestly thought there was a right answer. So I clicked on one and he's like, no.
Trying to explain what is a drac.
And I ask again, what is a drac? And I'm like, okay, so it's probably this one. No, try again. And I got down to 2 options and I'm like, okay, well, it's clearly not I don't know or say nothing or whatever the option was. And then I finally get to that one, and he's still like, you're wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I could eat you right now, but...
It definitely added some, I don't know, unique viewpoints. But it didn't sink in with me as much as other parts of the game did. So it's like, I don't want to have to do this again. One thing I will say about the graduation, though, as a headphone user... the
droning sound effect of the manta
was
ray
really grating. It got really grating. I had to turn my volume down.
I did not have my headphones in for that part, but I could hear it. And
wait, for which part?
So when
you're talking to the manta.
Oh yeah, it's like the
before Dark's Lair. Yeah, it's like a weird like little droning hum, but that's like kind of slightly high pitched, but it's like right in that perfect pitch. That's like But then we get to Darktooth. Mr. Handsome Darktooth. I like that picture of him.
In his well-decorated cave and his little followers.
And he calls you his creation. And I was like, wait, what?
His greatest creation.
He doesn't say the greatest at that point. He says that later on, I think. But so here's a difference that I would have made with the game, right? And this is not saying I could have done better than Ludwig. This is saying this is what I would have done, right? Because I love the concept of familial bonds, which is why I want the Drac to raise their young. Like in like little nests and whatever. So like I would have had you hatch and your mom's there and she's taking care of you and she is the tutorial, right? She, rather than the narrator, is who takes you on your first hunts and all that, right? She explains that your dad isn't here because he's busy with something very important that could mean the future of Drac kind. Because he is.
Yep.
And then, oh no, here come the others, the no-tails. They kill your mom right in front of you, right? You have to run away and go survive on your own, and it's very sad. You run into Darktooth, and he doesn't admit he's your father there, but he's a little curious about what happened. You tell him about what happened to your other creator, and maybe there's like a little hint in how he reacts, but then he starts to tutor you, like he does, right? And then you go to the Great Green, you do your first sleep, and then when you do the Great Lesson, and you get to Darktooth, and he admits that he's your dad, you have the option to be like, what the fuck, why weren't you there? She's dead because of you, kind of deal, right? I would have enjoyed that kind of interaction.
But I think because you already kind of like talked to that when you first ring is like basically what your mother has died and you are now born and like that's like life or something like that, and then encourage you to go to your mother's old place. And also, so a little bit of tangent, but I was wondering like what is the mother's attachment to Vantage, since if you get the certain treasure and you see her memories, Vantage was in one of them.
I think it's just the fact that Vantage had the black rod, because that goes into I'm assuming a crashed spaceship.
Yeah, the crash
that the silver rod goes into.
But then I still don't know why the mother would like absorb that knowledge though. Like it just seemed a little weird.
Maybe she knew it was important because Darktooth told her. And so she knowing about the 2 rods, she just knows that Vantage has the other one for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't think it's ever explained, and you're just supposed to draw your own conclusions.
Like, my best one was that maybe he was also a potential mate to her, but I'm like, I don't know if the ages are close enough or not.
I guess
or maybe even
how much age matters to Drac.
Oh, I was about to say maybe even a possible another sibling, but that's not true because he would have been an emerald.
Tell it. Yeah, that too. I don't know. Maybe she had her eye on him in the sense that she needs to fight him for that rod because she needs to get it for Darktooth. Or they could have been old friends, and they could have been old friends, and they went and found it in the first place together. I don't know.
And then also Bantam, you not liking humans. Did you like that she was one that like also hated humans, and that's what kind of got her killed?
So confess, I never got whatever you guys were just talking about. After I never got
He
the
never got
crystal
the crystal
fang
thing.
because after I tried to fly and I landed, I got when you get the option with the white black. I picked the Earth option of just ignoring it and letting its insults flow off me. And so the bird was just like, okay, whatever, and flew off and left me my first shiny. I didn't get the crystal fang. But then, Ray was trying to coach me on how to fix the mistake I made. He's like, well, when you get to the artist, you make sure you have X amount of shinies, blah, 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 blah. And then I killed the child. And he's like, and then when I got to the village hut at that point, I was just like, you know what? Being told that I'm constantly fucking up this, that, and the other thing, I don't care anymore. So I destroyed the artist's hut when I found it. And
I'm wondering what's in it when the artist is there. Is
there's
it
a
just
cat
empty?
and there's an old bird.
Oh, the cat and the bird. Interesting that
Well,
they go
they're there
there.
regardless if the artist is alive or not. Maybe the kid's not the artist.
That's one thing. Like if you're sleeping for that long of like that many years, it might not be the right age for the artist to have been born when he was.
Everything adds up though, because when you talk to him, he says that he was always like a really weird kid, couldn't play with the others because he was kind of sickly or whatever.
But that's a lot of humans. Like even I know
And
a few people
maybe
like
it was
that in
his
real
father
life.
or something. I don't know. But
That too.
point
Could
being
be.
is that
I'm gonna have to do a playthrough where I kill that kid, like you said, and then go see what happens to the artist.
yeah,
Hut.
at that point I just didn't care about how many storylines I was ruining. I wanted an ending and I wanted the humans to suffer. Every single chance I got to make a human suffer, I did. When I got attacked by the assassin, after I defeated him in combat, it showed him laying on the ground bloodied and that he was just staring at me. And I had an option to end his life quickly and painlessly, or just leave him there to suffer. So I picked that one. And the writing, again, does not punish you. It does not make you feel...
This is your chance for revenge, and it makes you feel better.
Yes, it does not make you feel like you made a wrong choice, which is absolutely wonderful. Because he's literally panicking and looking around like, why aren't you killing me? And then he finally dies, and you're like, you feel better. And it's like, yes, I do.
Now keep his skull.
Yeah, I'll keep his skull. Oh, yeah, and then the skull shows up,
did?
and I'm like, ooh, and that made me happy. It said he wanted the dialogue for the skull says something along the lines of like you wanted. Let me look it up because I actually sent it to him. Yeah, here it is. It says this once belonged to a tailless predator who tried to make you its prey. It was probably hoping to get into your trove, though not quite like this. That's what the dialogue for the skull is. When you come across the sacrificial burning of the goat, and you have several dialogue options to determine what you think you see, and that becomes your new truth. And so I picked the first option I picked was, why did they sacrifice the goat? And I said, to make it suffer because they're terrible. And then the second option was like, why did the elder, why do they do what the elder says? And I said the elder misleads them with lies or whatever in stories. And so that painted, in narration, a picture of these humans are maniacs. The first and only time I ever felt truly uncomfortable in the game, definitely was the event with what are they, Woodstriders? Where you come across essentially what I assume to be a demon, inhabiting the body of a human covered in blood and animal corpses.
Yeah, with a bear
Yeah,
skin.
He's got a bear skin and he's got 2 dragon fangs as daggers. And his text is blood red and very evil looking. And
then the music is very off-putting
is
too.
very off-putting, which is great. Like, not off-putting
You don't want to be here. You don't want to say this. It hurts.
You don't want to be here. Every fiber of your being says run. I love that. That whole event made me very uncomfortable in a very good way. I do want to ask one question. Which one of the endings, if we're at that point yet, or
I guess we go to the endings now.
Because I only got the one ending, but I know what the other endings are because he told me. But which ending So I picked the leave. I picked the ending with Darktooth because I was kind of pissed off at the All-Mother and Many Times Burned because and this may take this as a criticism or take this as just me personally. When I was trying to speak with Many Times Burned, I went down, I fought the snake twice, ate it, fought the birds twice, ate them, and then I fought the bear. And I beat the bear the first time, and when I fought the bear the second time, it did so much damage to me that I died. Like, I was winning the clashes, but it still killed me. And
No, you were losing the clashes.
the last one I won. I did fire over his air. And I lost. And I was so upset because it kicked me out. And they were like, you failed. Leave. And then it graded out on the map. And Ray went, oh, well, you fucked up that quest line, so you can't do that anymore. And then when I did the All-Mothers one, I got killed by the praying mantis as the ant.
Oh, yep. See, I hate the Mother's
when
quest.
I died, I woke up and he goes, it's okay. You can try again another time. And I'm like, how hard? Yeah. Okay, I still didn't do it, but the fact that it was an option to come back and try again, like, come on. The fact that they're like, no, you're pathetic, never come back here, really upset me.
Let's tackle this one order at a time. Let's finish off talking about Darktooth's ending because we talked about the Great Lesson, the Trial of Wisdom, and all that. So let's go do in that order. So
I picked that option because he was the only dragon who hadn't upset me. And he's your father.
You have yet to cross me.
He's your father. And the other reason I picked it is because my hatred of the humans was a little bit more nuanced than just kill them all. It was more that the humans are a plague on this land, and I don't think this war is going to solve anything. And they also mention, Many Times Burned mentions that we're going to kill all the humans. He doesn't say anything about the Delvers. And so in my head, fast forwarding time just meant that, yeah, you wipe out all the humans, but then the Delvers, gather their numbers and come back up and kill you anyway. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go to another planet. And that ending was the most shark jumping ending to me because they're just like, yeah, we're going to build a spaceship. It's a giant egg. Get inside it. It fills with liquid. You fall asleep and you go up into outer space. And I'm like, wait.
I don't know if it said that it filled with liquid.
It does.
And I'm like, what?
It's like they put you into a cryo sleep.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Like, what? How do you explain?
A few things definitely didn't match up. Like, these dragons live in caves. They don't have any furniture. They don't use technology or tools of any kind.
But they build a spaceship.
But then we're building a spaceship.
And so
now, granted, I understand there's magic in this world because of all the true songs and all that. And if you do Fathom's quest correctly and he gives you the shell, he doesn't have the shell. He creates it. He starts singing a true song of creation while moving his hands around, and he's weaving the shell. So there's definitely magic, so that can help. But that aside, it still felt a little weird to just be like, hey, space egg, let's go.
Yeah.
But remember, both Fathom and Darktooth have been doing a lot of research along with, I don't know how many other dragons, for thousands of turnings into that. I still don't see how they'd fully get to spaceship level, but they definitely at least had their knowledge,
But
time
again,
to get their knowledge.
my issue is the dragons in general don't have tools or anything they use, so it still feels like a big jump. Like, if they have been doing this for 1,000 years, there should have been some tools that they had in the meantime that helped them to fight off the others or whatever.
It feels like somebody skipping 10 levels of technology and going straight from flint daggers to space
Rocks.
travel, and it was very jarring to me. And the only thing that ruined that ending for me was when the final scene shows you on the other planet. There was very obviously a human-style dwelling on the planet, and I was like, God damn it.
Well, I know the second game was supposed to take place on that planet, and you are supposed to be ruling over / prisoner of. It's kind of both. It's kind of weird. But basically anthroized animals. But I understood that you enkindled them yourself upon getting there. So I also agree. I don't know why there's already structures there, but I don't think they're humans at all.
All right, that's acceptable.
Because they even said, we're taking off to a place where it's free of any kind of, other, or no tails.
I read that part, and then when you get to the other planet, there's already what looks like a temple or a pyramid built there, and I'm like, why is that there?
But that doesn't mean no tails.
It means something. It certainly doesn't
Yeah,
mean a
the
utopia.
Kaga are supposed to be an enkindled kangaroo. They have tails, so there we
Ooh.
go.
Kangaroos.
All right.
Yeah, how do you guys like the concept of enkindling?
I liked Darktooth's iteration. Like sometimes like he could make it work like with the manta ray, which he thought was like a living treasure, and the bird before it, but then there was the teachers, which he said were failed enkindlings.
Mhm.
So it
But
can
they
go
had
both
their
ways.
use.
Yeah.
Like he sequestered them in caves to keep them out of trouble, and they became useful tools for testing others.
Like I think my favorite enkindled one is Never Ever.
Yeah, I did like him, especially the little speech he gives before you fight him.
Yep. Or the Void asked when I'd give up to it, and then I responded, "Never ever."
Fight, and then he kicks your fucking ass.
This is
Yeah.
something that you said a long time ago, and I just now remembered. And feel free to splice this in there or whatever. But you were talking about how the first time that the first moment that made you cry was the main menu and the music. Do you want to guess what mine was? Because you never will.
Flight.
No.
Oh, I want to talk about the flight later. We'll get to that later. First time, and I'll never guess it.
Yeah, you were there when I did it.
Oh wait, so me to guess it?
Either one of you. I don't think Ray understands.
No.
It was. I'll just tell you. It was the rabies weasel. The
Oh.
rabies weasel. The way the writing was actually made me really sad. I managed to succeed in calming it down enough for me to just coup de grace it without having to fight it. But knowing what rabies does in real life,
like that's
is
pretty much
very,
it.
very scary. And seeing something like struggling on the last bastion of its sanity really fucking hurt. But that's it.
Yeah.
I get you. Like yeah, that is a pretty touching moment.
Back to enkindling. I just want to say, like, I wish I could have enkindled the wolves. That would have been perfect. I would have loved
I
that.
don't think the player dragon's old enough to start enkindling, right?
Well, I understand it's just you give of your essence, so will you let the wolves drink some of your blood, and there you
Yes.
go.
That's it. I thought it had to do something like with more mind
When you
stuff.
It might be
when
both.
you
I don't know.
finish the wolf chain and you get the wolves like as a permanent fixture in your cave, made me so happy.
I'm guessing you also got the bats
Yes,
as well.
I did get the bats, and I used them to defeat.
Yeah, get
Whisper.
Yeah, Whisper.
Yeah. I will say, Dilitan is not here to defend himself. Dilitan accidentally ate the baby wolf.
Oh,
He did the
it
wolf
is
thing.
so precious.
He did the wolf thing. He kidnapped the wolf to bring back to his lair.
Oh, see, I kidnapped the wolf. Yes,
And
I
then
did that first time.
he accidentally ate it because he accidentally clicked on it when he was doing something else in his lair.
Oh, okay. I thought like he purposefully ate
No,
the cub.
accidentally ate the wolf cub. It's like, oops. Apparently that really
Yes.
upset him.
Okay, so he didn't mean to.
But yeah, so back to Darktooth and his ending.
Real quick before you do that, I will say that I have
Mhm.
tested this and it does not work. If you make a wrong choice and you quickly Alt F4, it's not going to save you.
The game auto saves like every few seconds, I swear.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
There was
brutal
one
there.
time where I fucked up a choice and I turned over to Ray. I was like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll just Alt F4." And I came back and I was like, "Or not."
Why not?
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So Darktooth's ending. One thing I'll say about it really fast is when you do that, and then many times burned is like the hell you will, right? And it's like you will stay, and then you have the choice to deny him or to give in, and you just like
or give him treasure.
yeah, well you just like I will not. You say no to it, and everyone's like, oh, can he do that? Yeah, part of the text that I just want to call out is upon denying many times burned, it says like, you've just denied an elder, your feathers rise in terror and arousal. I'm like, what? Arousal? What?
Yeah, it says, it's the screenshot that I took. It says, suddenly there is complete and utter silence. Every Draken gathered dares not move. You have contradicted and indirectly challenged one of the most powerful beings known to exist on blessed earth. Your feathers helplessly begin to rise in terror and arousal. You are now in greater danger than you have ever been in your existence.
And I'm like, why is it an arousal?
Well, because it's like you're showing your
Okay,
strength.
first of
like
all,
no other dragon would
you
show
need to
that
understand
strength.
that arousal does not mean sex. Arousal is
Yeah.
you can
It
you can
can
be
mean
aroused from sleep, like arousal is you attentive.
I don't know. In my head, it just means
Yeah, I
that
know.
though. So it's like, okay. But the thing is, you succeed, or Darktooth saves you, or however it goes down. His last line to you, many times Burns' last line to you, "Be gone. This world is no longer your home." It's like, okay, that hurt.
Okay.
No, it's like, screw you, you're trying to kill me. You can go and have her. I'm going to go live with Dad.
You're essentially
so,
defying Dragon God.
Yeah. That line caused me such physical and emotional pain, and I'll explain why when we talk about his ending, okay? But just keep that in your mind. That line hurt. But then, yeah, you leave, you go to the other planet, and this is going to lead into the sequel, Hierophant, which, looking forward to.
Yes.
Hopefully it comes out soon.
Definitely going to do a podcast on that too, right? When
of course,
comes out.
yes.
Oh, yeah, he's guaranteed that if another game comes out, we're playing it, and we're going to review it.
Maybe we'll get review copies. Ha ha ha. But I guess, yeah, we'll talk about many times Burns ending now, the survival ending, the fight all the human ending.
The easiest one to get.
Yeah, so it's the default, right? If you fulfill no requirements, it's the one that you default to.
Well, I think if you actually don't get enough like survivalist stuff, then he might not.
No,
I guess he won't fight you choosing. He's like, you go join Allmother and die or something like that.
Yeah, so I looked into the numbers behind it. He has no requirements. You will be able to get his ending no matter what. All the survival points do is change his dialogue a little bit when they ask for your opinion, and it causes him to fight you if you try to not do his ending.
Yeah.
But yes, to comment on the volcano that Bantam didn't like, the reason why you only get to do that once is because it's all about his thing is all about like strength. Right?
Yeah.
If you're not strong, then you don't belong here.
No, I understand that, but narratively, I understand. Narratively, I understand. Mechanically, makes me very upset, and I wanted to Alt F4 and try that again. But the fact that the game autosaves so often and you can't do that unless you start a brand new game, I was like, well, all right. It removed some of my immersion in the game, and it also kind of killed some of the desire to keep going. At that point, I didn't care what ending I got. I just wanted to get an ending because the ending I wanted, which my initial ending was going to be, I want to kill all the humans. But because his quest line, I screwed up his quest line, I no longer cared about him as a dragon, and I was like, no, I'm going to do everything in my power to not take your ending.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here because I got to rewind a little bit to explain, because his was the first ending I did, and I think it's the ending that I would do in like every time, knowing how everything else ends.
Yeah, like that's the one you pick permanently.
Probably, and we need to get into why, and I'm going to explain why with like a little bit of a story, okay? So in part 3, when you can go north and interact with all the humans to find knowledge on them and all that, I did that mostly to get the tarot card for getting into their sacred place, right? So I'm doing all these events and picking whatever, right? I don't like the humans. Bantam's got a burning hatred for them. I still admit they have uses. Both as a dragon, humans have use as a tool, but then from a narrative standpoint, some stories need humans to be in there. I would love stories that have no humans at all, like Wings of Fire at the beginning. But even in Wings of Fire, the humans started the whole war of standing succession and all that, right?
Yeah.
So humans have a use, but in character, I was completely against them because you killed my mother, and you have hunted me for I don't know how long. So I'm going around and doing all these kind of mean things to them, right? And then I finally get into their sacred place, and in game, your character is just in awe of what he finds in there, and I was too. I was in awe with him. This place is full of music that the others, the No-Tails, have crafted in such a way that you didn't think was possible, to be able to put music in physical form like this and not have it be words.
Yeah, like the animal mural and the elemental pillars.
The discovery of art. Wondering if a Draken could ever make art like this, even though it felt profane, it felt vile, because this kind of stuff is your inner self for the world to see. He understands that this is something that comes from deep inside you, and it's how you share it with people. Like, that's what art is. And so just going on that journey with him, especially when you examine the mural and one of the I guess solutions, I can't think of the word. One of the solutions you come up with is the others want to be good beasts. They want to belong. They feel abandoned, and they want to be able to fit into this world. At that point, my view of the humans started to shift. Like, if I could add my own ending into the game, like if I could just mod in a fifth ending, it would be working with the humans. It would be teaching them. It would be learning their language, like how the artist was learning yours. Learn their language to teach them, and then they can become good people. They can become good beasts, and they could belong. They would learn to see the essence like you and all the animals can, and you would avoid the gray future by teaching them to be one with the earth, basically. So that's how my viewpoint on them started to shift. But then you turn around and you see Warden's head on the wall, and all that went right out the window. Immediately outrage and just like, how could you do something like this? You didn't even let it return to the earth. So you take the head, you go bury it. And I'm now like, all right, humans, you had your chance. No more.
You fucked.
I will admit the exact same. I had the exact same reaction. I was like, all right, maybe the humans aren't just stupid morons. And then the way your character reacts to seeing these things and like, whoa, and then you turn around and the music changes too, and it's like, oh shit, there's Warden's fucking head. And yeah, because it kind of foreshadowed that they killed Warden anyway, because when you visit the hut that used to be in the exact spot that Warden was.
But to disrespect his body in such a way.
Yeah, it's horrible. They replace his eyes with amber and they mount it and stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, they need to die.
They taxidermied him.
Yep. So then after that, I went to the volcano. That's when I did the volcano. And I fought down to the end, and I had my talk with Many Times Burned, where he tells me, I have seen the future, and this is the future. And he starts explaining how humans are going to cover the land in gray spires and smoke, and they're going to destroy the green and the nature, and they will even destroy all of dragonkind, and we will be nothing but stories that they tell to make themselves feel better. And I'm like, all right, this shit ain't going down. So then we get to the ending, to the moot, where he explains to the entire gathering that, yes, I saw the future, this is the future. It's pretty much the same thing he tells you privately, right? And even Darktooth is like, I can agree, we've all seen it through different methods. This is what's going to happen. And then Many Times Burned says, so obviously we have to fight back and stop them. And then Darktooth is all like, nah, that won't fix anything, we should just leave. And the All-Mother's like, oh, we could teach them to be better by becoming them. And I'll go on my tangent with her in a second.
Yep, like, can't beat them, let's join them.
Yeah. The fact that Darktooth's response to that is, you would, mostly to Darktooth, because I think at this point he thinks our mother's just crazy, right? So he's pretty much ignoring her. But to Darktooth is, you would abandon our great mother in her time of need after all she has given and done for us. And that is exactly my thoughts on the thing. It's like, I can agree with Darktooth's thought, like maybe going out there would be a good idea. It's definitely a good backup plan, right? To make sure that dragonkind survives. But even if like half of the population goes with Darktooth, even if I give him my entire trove to help him build his spaceship, I'm staying behind. I am the guardian of the Great Green. I am not going to let them do this to my mother. Even if it costs me my life, I am going to stay behind and fight for her.
Yeah.
That's how drawn into the world I got. It's like, I can't leave her behind. I'm sorry, but I have to fight for her.
Yeah, as we said, the writing in this game I've never seen writing this good.
It made me feel things.
Yeah, Ray hates feeling things.
No, I love feeling things. You have no idea.
He hates showing it.
Showing it is debatable, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's some of the things that make me emotional, I understand are really stupid, like the main menu, and those are the things I don't like admitting to. But there are other things like the concept of fighting for Mother Earth. It's like, no, I can admit to getting emotional over that.
Or the flight scene.
The flight scene. Oh my god, the flight scene. Okay, I guess I'll go into that tangent now. The flight scene was, I think, there's too many emotional parts in the game. I can't pick which one was the strongest, but it was one of the stronger emotional scenes. The fact that when you come out, you have the picture of you with your wings spread and the roar, and it says, there's no need to consult your reflection this time. You can feel it in your being. You are complete. I don't know why that touched me so hard, but it did. And then when you go flying, and just the song that you sing in praise, behold me, mother, behold me, father, I'm finally worthy, or whatever.
And the music helps along too. Like
it does. It's so good. I'm pretty sure you guys
builds
can
into,
hear
like,
me
the-
choking up over
Yeah, I
here.
can.
It was so beautiful, and like I've played through that scene so many times, getting all the different endings, and still every time, even now. Good job, Ludwig. and Jim and Rachel, whoever did. I know there's more than one artist. Whoever did the art, whoever did the music, all of you came together and created something amazing.
So that would be Sam Olsen. And
Rachel was the lead artist and Sam was the secondary artist, I think.
Rachel Seeger.
I think, I'm just guessing, I think Rachel did all the main art, and I think Sam might have just helped with like the UI elements, because that would still be artist credit.
No, I mean,
But I
it says,
don't know.
so one of the things I really liked about the end credits was they showed like a drawn portrait of the person and then a dragon next to it. And so for Rachel Seeger's plate, one of the things that says, things I never expected to draw: pop art ants, our alien overlords,
Animal
a bumblebee
butts.
bear, shadow children, and animal butts. And then for Sam Olsen's, it's things this game taught me to paint: animal butts, dappled sunlight, weird fish, space, stained glass. So one of them may have been the preliminary artist that draws all the things, whereas he's the colorist and he colors them.
Yeah, well, however you guys divvied it up, you all did amazing,
Yeah.
okay? I don't mean to demean anyone by trying to give the wrong person credit.
And I do like a lot of their personal quotes. Like Rachel's was just like
Hides under blanket. Yeah, I thought that was good too, because everyone else has like some inspirational quote or something, and hers is just hides under a blanket. And part of me wants to think that Ludwig went around the studio or office or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, I need an inspirational quote for your credit thing," and she literally had a blanket and just hid under it.
That would be pretty silly.
And I still can't believe like there's an Alex on the team, and then not only does he share my name, but if his portrait in there is to be like his likeness, it looks just like me, which is weird.
Do you
So
want me
it's
to
like-
leave your real name on the podcast?
Oh yeah, I don't mind. It's just Alex. I don't care.
Okay.
I thought your real name was Alex Lanzetta, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy."
No, it's just Alex.
Because
It's just Alex, like the first name.
I'm not going to share my real name, but there's a famous surfboard athlete who shares my name, as well as a world famous DJ. He shares my exact full first and last name.
But also shares your like look
No,
like.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know what
telling
either
you,
of
like
them look like.
his picture looks just like me, which would really freak me out.
What are you not telling us, Venter?
I didn't work on this. If I worked on this, I'd tell you. Like I probably got like an extra copy or something.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, flying scene, great. Well, could be great
Yes.
forever. I'm gonna try and memorize that song when he's flying, just to have it memorized. But yeah, this game destroyed me in so many ways.
Would you always pick the most boisterous, embrace the wind? Because there's like the boisterous one. There's like the
Oh yeah,
the
when it's the
cursive
three
one.
different fonts but all the same thing. Yeah, I picked the
Yeah.
flowery one at the bottom. I was like, embrace the wind.
embrace the wind.
I don't know which one I picked. I think I just picked randomly because it all leads to the same place, and it just I don't know. I actually liked that little touch that they did.
They're just like, yes, embrace the wind, finally flight.
Anything to say about the survival ending before we move on to All Mothers? And I tangent the fuck out of that one too.
Survival being the one that I picked?
No, that's wisdom.
No, that's wisdom. There's wisdom, survival, and
Survival is many times burns destroy all the humans.
and compassion. That was the other one's compassion.
Yeah. I guess I will touch on it again. I know I just did, but I'll do it again. Again, just to kind of compare to in my head the game that I wanted to make. This game felt really short. It was short and sweet and beautiful, but it felt short. Like, can I, have a part 4 that's when I'm adult and I don't have all this bullshit going on and I can just be the adult? Like, I killed all the humans, hooray. Can I have a little sandbox where I just play around now? Can I raise my kid, please? But yeah. But nothing else to say about that ending?
I didn't get it, so.
Do you have any questions about it if you didn't get it?
Does it succeed?
It is implied you
Okay,
succeed.
good.
Yeah, like it shows like shortly after, but it doesn't show the future after.
It says that you have you have cleansed the Great Green. There are no more humans on your lands, though the fight for dominance continues on elsewhere. Although, because I got some information from Ludwig himself, it will succeed.
Sweet.
So yeah, I guess then going on to the All-Mother ending, the compassion ending.
The one that I think at least all three of us agree is the worst one.
So I definitely have some thoughts on it, right? And these thoughts are a little contradictory. So it's like, as I told Banter, like, I'm going to sing two truths to you, all right?
Oh yeah, yep, I remember you telling me that too.
Yeah. So first off, I hate the ending. Like, it is not a good ending in the context of the story. Because, again, just because of how much I agree with many times, Burned, that we need to protect Mother, but you would rather become them and let this terrible thing come to pass on the maybe chance that you could be reborn as one of them, no less, and the maybe chance that you could then fix this in the future after it's already happened. It's like, that's a lot of maybes that I don't agree with. It's like, I definitely would try to prevent it rather than fix it. Like, prevention is better than fixing, right? So it's like, I don't like it in that sense. And then also just the fact that I love Dragonkind so much. The thought of like, and now this game, you're going to become a human. It's like, no, I don't want to. I want to be a dragon. If I want to be a human, I'm going to go play Horizon Zero Dawn. So it's like, I didn't like it on those grounds, right? It's just, it's not what I would want to do ever in game. And I don't think it really fits with the story. And it definitely is giving Mother Earth the short end of the stick there. That being said, something about its delivery also made me break down and cry, I think twice. Alright? The first time I was doing the Great Moot, when All Mother's explaining her plan to everybody, and I don't remember the exact line somewhere. I have the screenshot saved. Give me, again, 20 seconds, see if I can just find it.
Okay.
If we abandon these mighty forms, but sing true through the inward ways and continue to love, in the far future, no tales may be born with Drac-kin souls, capable of singing with our voices, seeing with our eyes. Those tailless Drac-kin of the future are the greatest hope of salvation for Earth and all who live upon her. So, I think we can admit that he's definitely going for an otherkin ending, right? He's trying to explain the presence of otherkin in real life. People who believe they have dragon souls. He's offering validation for that. Which, I guess that spoke to me in a very interesting way. Almost in like a, either I believe it or I want to believe it. Again, because of just how much I love Dragonkind. I guess technically for this little bit, I'm breaking character and talking as the human rather than as the dragon, right? The thought that I could have been a dragon in the past life, just, I don't know, just resonates so purely with me that even though I did not like the ending from a narrative standpoint, the kind of the way it was delivered and the emotional impact, especially when you actually get the ending at the very end and it shows the baby in the nursery. And I have no idea what that dialogue was, but something was said there, and I don't have any screenshots of that one, but something was said there that again kind of just like reaffirmed that, like, this is you were once mighty and you can be mighty again, or something. Like, that's at least the feeling I got out of it, even if that's not what the words were. It's like that definitely resonated with me in a really weird way I can't explain. Yeah. So I love the ending's writing and its delivery, but I hate it from a narrative standpoint.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Venter just hates it completely in all ways.
Pretty much, like, I love dragons, so it's like I don't want to just leave dragonhood to go.
Yeah, I don't want to soil the image of a dragon by turning it into a human. I don't care.
So how do you two feel? I know how Bantam feels because we've done this on the show before, but Venter, how do you feel about stories where dragons can shapeshift at will and they spend like 90% of the time in human form for one reason or another?
I mean, if it's to protect themselves, I can see that. But if she's like, I just want to be a human and hang with humans, it's like, really? Then why? You're not a true dragon. But if it's just to hide the secrecy and like be safe, I can fully get behind that.
Yeah, I could see that. There's a D&D world, I think it's Eberron, where there's an island full of dragons. Like, the dragons own this island. They have their own government and everything too, called Arganessen. And I think at some point, I don't know if it's like canon from a story that was written in the setting, or if it's just what the D&D group that I was listening to the Let's Play of did. I can't. This was forever ago, so I can't remember. But like they were the party, whether from the story or from the playthrough, I don't know, was in a large cavern full of people, but the people were all dragons, just in human form, and they were having like a big meeting about something very important that was going to happen. And it was explained that the reason they were all in human form is because it was just much easier to fit that many people together if they were human.
That makes sense.
And it's like, okay, for comfort's sake, I can kind of see it too. But I generally just don't like shapeshifting because I think it's an easy out. Even though I can shapeshift. So
I mean, I don't mind shapeshifting just in general, like just to make by. But if it's like, okay, I'm a dragon, but I'm gonna take the human shape for a good portion of my life. It's like, why?
it's just a lot of time in stories it's used as a cop-out to not have to write a dragon character. Especially in like movies where they have to worry about CG. Alright. The moment you've all been waiting for. The true ending. Bantam didn't get the true ending.
Yeah, well, it takes a bit to get to the true ending.
It takes a bit. But
the stars are our scales.
We're going to try to explain it to him in a way that he can appreciate and hate it with us. I don't know, Venta, did you hate the true ending?
I hated having to do all the tedious things of translating the spider language and then get the certain number from the certain prey, and I can't remember what else you need to do besides getting all elements to level 10.
Again, like Ludwig, I admitted to using a map for the dungeons because of time constraints. This is the only other thing I used a guide on.
Same.
Again, for time constraints, was to figure out how to unlock the true ending and getting the numbers that have to be hunted down. Mostly because I don't know how easy it is to hunt the giant fish. I didn't try, but I just, for the sake of getting this done in time for the show, I had to use the guide for the true ending, so I'm sorry for that.
The funny thing is that, and I didn't know anything about any true ending, but when I played the very first time, and I got to the map segment where you go to the Great Green, so the end of the first segment, and I came across the spider, and the spider starts talking, and I go, that looks like Braille. And so I pulled up a thing that's a Braille translator, and I start translating it by going back and forth between both screens, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is tedious as fuck. And so I pulled out my phone and I downloaded a Braille app where you can, it gives you the 6 dots and you can fill them in, and then it will print out it. And so I'm sitting there going, I think I had 3 lines on my screen. Like, I advanced the dialogue to show the 3 lines. And I got really close to translating the 3rd line, and I accidentally clicked the screen, and another line appeared. And then I clicked the screen again, another line appeared. I'm like, fuck this.
Yep.
I don't know if this happens. Venta, tell me if you know if it does or doesn't. But I feel like after getting the tip from the Great Green the first time, like, I choose the 4th way, and he's like, well, you're going to need these 3 numbers, and here's where I hid them. That should hit a flag to where after that point, if you play through and go to the spider, it should auto-translate the Braille for you.
That would be nice.
Yes.
But I don't think it does.
Yeah, again, because I had to look up a guide, I didn't go to the spider ever, so I don't know if it does, but if it doesn't, it really should.
It really should. Because if it's gonna make you sit there and it took me 20 minutes to get the first 3 lines translated. And if that's the case, then no. I will just look up a guide that tells me the answer is this.
I will admit,
and you only need a single number out of all of that. You don't need all of that to combine.
From what little I translated, because I had typed it all out and then I deleted it like an idiot. But it talked a lot about, like, this home is, my heart and my soul, and please don't destroy it, and blah, 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 blah.
It's the knowledge ways of the spider, I think is what it was.
Hear the song of my soul, hear the words of my spirit. All life is the center of its own world, all homes are traps in disguise. The number of perfection is 4 and 60, so speaks the green one. As above, so below, this is the first and final truth emblazoned upon all things.
Oh, and there's as above, so below, which is Golden Dawn or something like that. I forgot what it was saying.
I don't know the reference.
Yeah, like I had a friend that like got into all kinds of spiritual stuff like that way, and that was one of the big quotes was, "As above, so below."
It definitely feels very religious. But yeah, I will admit where you hid the number 5 was clever. I'll give you that one.
Where is that?
That was the fish one, right?
No, the fish was 32. The fish, you catch the fish, it becomes an artifact, and if you sell it, it's worth 32. and that's such a weird number compared to how everything else is a flat 10 or a 5, right? So that's supposed to be the hint for that. But the number 5 was given to the white blacks for safekeeping, and so when you master them, the text that pops up from them, they have a whole bunch of numbers, and like the hint is it's between gold and given or whatever, and it was just hidden inside the good way of the white blacks lore.
Yep, their knowledge.
Yeah, I don't remember all the clues and what the lines were, but it was I'll admit that one was clever. But then so you have to get those 3 numbers. You got to get every tarot card in the game, which is okay.
Oh, that too.
I'll admit getting all achievements for a secret ending makes sense, and there was only 20 of them, so it was okay. And getting all stats to 10 was also okay because it's not that hard to get them.
Yeah.
But because it's not that hard to get them, I wish the stats went higher, because the fact that every playthrough you can be master of every element and you're not an elder feels weird. So maybe have the max stat be 20, but just require 10 in each one to get the true ending.
Well,
I don't know.
In part 1, you're capped at 5. Part 2, you're capped at 8.
Yeah.
Part 3, you're capped at 10. I mean, who's to say that every other dragon, their cap is like 100? Like, you'll...
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you got me there. You got me there. The elders could have a cap of 100. I mean, freaking Fathom's water crown was crazy as fuck. But yeah, so once you get all those check boxes, you don't go to sleep. You just the next day, like you don't have to rest in your cave. But the next day, you get a vision that says like the door. The door it's being super mystical. I can't remember all its language, but you start to see the door
is opened or something.
It is open to those who have found the 3 holy numbers to unlock it, and it asks you what the number of perfection is or whatever, and you put in 64, and then the square outline shows up. It asks for the number given to the white blacks. You put in 5, and a star field appears, like a skybox star field, and then you put in the number 32 when it asks for that one, and the door like fully manifests, and then you're greeted by 4 spirits. Let's call them 4 spirits. The first one is desire, and it says, I am the spirit of desire. If you bow down to me, I will give you wealth untold and everything you could ever want. And you have to say no.
Deny it, yeah.
You have to deny it. You have to sing the true song of dominion and take control of desire and make desire your slave instead. You got to master desire.
Yep.
You're then visited by the spirit of rage, who says, I am the spirit of rage. I am the righteous anger that burns within all Drac kind. The earth is under assault from other seed. They defile her, they corrupt her, and we must destroy her. You give yourself to me, and I will give you power untold to go and destroy them. Which, quick aside, I'm giving into that every single time, right? And I actually did once give into that after the fact to see if anything changes. It's like, no, it doesn't. You just get kicked out. There's not even like any dialogue box that says, wow, what a weird dream that was, or whatever, right? I feel like I should give you something if you give into one of the spirits and go to do one of the other endings. But you say no to rage, and then you're visited by the spirit of truth, who says, you are wise to make it this far and to decline the others. I am the spirit of truth. I am absolute knowledge in all things. I will lay a crown upon your head, and you will know everything. And again, you say no to that, right? And then you're visited by the 4th spirit, which breaks my heart to this day.
Wait, before you say that, you know, it would have been really like kind of dickish but awesome, is if the spirit of knowledge, and he's like, it just gives you all the masteries, and so you're like, yeah, that's great because that helps you in another playthrough, but you have to do all that again.
Yeah. Again, I feel like they should give you something if you gave into them at some point.
Yeah, you get something of that or their
Imagine
choice.
You give into truth, and he lays the crown upon your head, and you realize you've made a terrible mistake.
That's the truth.
Yeah, but the 4th spirit, it's you.
Yeah.
You are then confronted by a picture of your character, the dragon.
The dragon
says, "I am you." It's like says, "I am you. I am the Fang of the Great Green. We listened to the voice in the chamber together. We escaped the humans. We witnessed the death of our creator. We fled. We grew. We conquered." And it's like basically just asks you to just return to the Great Green with me, and we can be, like we can be, right? And you say no, and then the spirit starts getting like upset or sad or scared or something.
And also, I think looks like it's getting hurt, right?
Yeah, a little bit. At least his expression does. And it's like you would really throw all of that away. You would never go back. You would, like, you need me to exist in this world kind of deal. And I'm going to stop trying to explain it because I'm not going to do it justice, because I will admit it's kind of poetic a little bit. But the idea is it's your ego. Not like your pride, but your ego being your sense of self. The opposite of the id, your ego. And you have to reject that, because part of the lesson I think is trying to teach you is that you are not just you, you're everything or whatever. Like we're all one and the same. We're all together. We are all part of the one song. Again, it's very cryptic, and it's cryptic on purpose because I think he wants you to take from it what you want to take from it. But once you reject your sense of self, you're able to go through the dreaming door, and you become the next Great Green? ? You become the spirit of the Great Green. You become some like weird spiritual figure or whatever, because it shows you a scene where you're laid out in the exact same way that the spirit of the Great Green is when you talk to it, right? Complete with the spinning halos and all that. But then apparently they can also see you up in the sky. Like I don't want to say it deifies you, because you definitely don't become a deity, but you ascend to the next reality, the next state of being. And it definitely has, the whole ending has very strong, what's it called? Buddhist enlightenment and nirvana feelings to it. And that's it. That's the ending.
A true Buddhist ending.
Yeah. Which again, similar to the All-Mother one, I don't like it from a narrative standpoint because it feels very non-ending. It was pretty weird. And I didn't like the ending because I understand what he was going for with the rejection of all these ideals, including the sense of yourself to ascend and become enlightened and all that. And I understand that personally, I'm not ready for that. I will never be able to reject my ego like that. And so because I can't, it felt bad, it felt wrong, it felt like I was forced to just for the sake of getting the ending.
Yeah, it's like you know that you can't pick the ego because that's still the wrong answer, so you just gotta keep going against it.
Yeah.
But did you try the hidden ending, the hidden option of just lowering your head, closing your eyes, plugging your ears, and walking on?
I don't want to do this.
So you mean that I thought that one thing from the School of Wisdom's choice.
I don't remember that.
The one that likes to just sit in a hole.
Oh.
No, I was just implying, like, you open the door and there's these 4 things, like, oh, we're going to get this one. And you're just like, nope, blah, la, 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 la. And you just walk past all 4 of them.
The point is, like, the true ending was definitely trying to be very poetic and very cryptic, so you could take out of it what you want to take out of it. It actually never even tells you what the greatest treasure is that is rumored to lie behind the door. I'm pretty sure it's intentionally left up to the player's interpretation so they can take what they want from it.
In the credits, it says that don't forget life's greatest, or the greatest treasure is life.
I was expecting to say something else during the secret ending itself, so the fact that it says that in the credits made me think, like, maybe it's not that exactly.
Well, then that's what it is then, because when I got through the credits, it didn't say that.
Oh, did it?
No. I took screenshots of all the credits because I was really liking the little artist profiles. And then it's just like, thank you for playing the Great Green. That was it. They didn't say anything about the greatest gift or whatever. So then it does change the credits to add that.
All right, so the greatest gift is life, but you have to reject all these things about life to be able to get it. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You don't love something until it's gone or something like that.
Well, no, the only point to living is to live. It's not to.
Well, no. I'm making fun of the secret ending where it's like I have to deny desire, rage, and truth, and even the concept of myself. I have to give up on this life in order to find that the greatest treasure is the life I just gave up. So yeah, that's just me poking fun at it, if that's what it's supposed to mean. But yeah, any other thoughts? Anything we missed going over?
Where we say, like, if we're a certain species of dragon, what our species would be.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts rules. If we went to this if this is this world, I would have to be a Sapphirekin. Dilitan's Ruby.
I'm a white black.
Oh, you're gonna be a white black?
No, realistically, his character's already pretty wyverny, so he would probably actually just be an Onyx.
Oh, I thought he was gonna be a Emerald because of like
I guess because of how much he likes
how
Bloom's character, he would be Emerald just to kind of fit in with that.
that.
No, I'm gonna be an Onyx, and I'm gonna make beautiful babies with Bloom.
The thing is, if you're an Onyx, you're going to be constantly in mental pain.
That's fine.
Yep.
Being
It's like,
around,
what else is new?
being mood, or haha, Sam.
Venter, kobolds don't exist, so I think you're going to turn into a human.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a dragon still.
No, he likes to do that.
No, you said you were going to be a kobold, so...
He likes to do that. He likes to.
Well,
He
no,
likes
in the
to
story though.
force people to be the worst thing in a dragon universe.
What?
No, it's back in episode 1 when it's like, as a dragon, would you live in this world or whatever? It's like, I felt like, one of our personas on the show should really be a human, so I can ask, as a human, would you live on this world with the dragons? So it's like, I just keep trying to force humanity on people.
I'm not a fan of humanity myself, so I'd rather be. Heck, I might
Mood.
be an animal over the humans.
Venter, if Dilitan dies from the dis-ease, then I'm actually taking you.
But I already claimed him.
No, yeah, but see, he's more like me.
Alright, that's it. Dance of Destruction time.
All right, let's do it. I'll do what I did to get through the entire game. I will just spam quick attack.
Well, fine, then I'm going to use one of the fire moves. So there you go.
Shit. You messed.
Yeah. If I was gonna be a dragon species, I think I'd be Sapphire as well. I like the Sapphires. I like Darktooth. I like Tempest. I like Fathom.
Holy shit, this recording is 3 hours long.
Yeah, I think we should put a cap on it.
But yeah, my offer still stands. How many shinies do I gotta donate to be a cameo in one of the future games? Alright, we were also thinking about doing a dramatic reading of the moot. I even took screenshots of all the dialogue for it. But Dilitan got sick and ruined everything. So we'll see if we do that in the future. Maybe we'll hold it hostage behind Patreon or something. Like, hey.
Yeah, there's nothing up there right now. It's kind of just a glorified tip jar, but we should probably start making some stuff for the Patreon.
We could do dramatic readings every month and have that be one of the rewards. It's held hostage. Especially because Dilitan's like, I don't wanna. It's like, nope, you got to now. They're paying for it.
On top of that, someone who doesn't want to do a dramatic reading will be the best dramatic reader.
Alright. Do we have any closing thoughts?
No?
No.
Alright, so Bantam, where can they find us?
Oh, crap.
Oh, you don't have your socials up?
I don't have them up, no. All right. So you can find us on Twitter at officialwadpod. Our email is wadpodcastmail@gmail.com. And our Patreon is World of Dragons Podcast.
Next episode, we are going to be doing the book Vankir the Dragon by Maxime J. Durand. Hopefully Dilitan will be back and ready for that. We do wish he gets better.
While Dilitan recovers, I will be taking possession of Venter.
No, I already said I have him.
That's fine, but you don't get him until Dilitan dies. And so I have to be the intermediary, and therefore Venter will be coming home with me.
Alright, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next time. May you be blessed.
May you be blessed.
May you be blessed.
May you be blessed.